My name is Katja Krause. I'm the leader of the new research group Experience in the Premodern Sciences of Soul and Body, which was just launched on the 1st of November 2018. I started my academic career at the University of Marburg studying theology and English. I moved to King's College London from there, where I did a master's degree in philosophy and a PhD as well, that I finished in 2014. My PhD thesis was on Aquinas' theory of the beatific vision and the influence of the Latin, Greek, and Arabic sources on that. After the PhD, I came here in 2014 to Lorraine Daston's department, and I worked on a series of articles on the empirical turn in the medieval history of science and philosophy. Then I held an assistant professorship at Durham University. From there, I moved to Harvard Divinity School, where I had a one-year postdoctoral fellowship. And finally, I came back to the MPI here with the new research group. So concerning the focus of the research group, I would say we have one overarching question that we ask, which is, what is the role of experience in the premodern sciences of soul and body? So in the Latin West, the notion that was used mostly is experientia and experimentum. And we asked the question, well, what did these notions mean in the ideals and the practices of the historical actors? In the Arabic language, experience was usually rendered as tajriba, and the associations in their ideals and practices were overlapping with those of thinkers in the Latin West or historical actors in the Latin West, but at times not. And so it's really on us to tease out the different meanings of these different concepts in the different languages as well, as a very basic question. Over the coming years, we will welcome many scholars from all over the globe, which is also part of the program of the group, that it's supposed to be a global project, not working from a Eurocentrist perspective or a colonial perspective, but really taking the whole globe into our view. At the same time, we try to focus very narrowly on the Aristotelian life sciences and the Galenic-Avicennian medical tradition as it travels around the globe. So my task as a research group leader is to really make sure that these projects that are on certain particulars in certain historical periods really answer the overarching question, what is the role of experience in the premodern sciences of soul and body? And to ensure that we have a really good outcome or output of our research group, we will be working with a format that is very well established here at this institute and inspired by Lorraine Daston's work, which are the so-called working groups, which means that we will invite a number of scholars, experts in the respective field, to come and work with us on collected volumes over the course of 2 to 3 years, depending on how the work progresses. And we will have 3 such working groups. So the first challenge, I would say, is really a challenge of sources. For the medieval period, for my own research in particular, what I can say is that before the 1320s, the historical actors only wrote on parchment. Afterwards, they had paper available. This didn't just mean that it was super expensive to produce written texts, but it also means that there were very few produced. Copies were scarce. I mean, sometimes there were multiple copies. And we don't get personal notebooks or not too many letters. Sometimes we have homilies available that give a more intimate way into their own thinking or intentions and motivations. So what we have on parchment mostly is theories and how these theories change over the course of time. Of course, we have the marginal notes, and they're very interesting, but sometimes it's really hard to date them as well, because the scribes or the audience that read these manuscripts that put marginal notes down, they don't put their names or the date at which they put a marginal note. So there's more guessing or conjecturing going on in many cases when we find something really interesting. So apart from the manuscripts, obviously there were prints after the printing press had been invented. An important edition, or first edition even, of a medieval scholar, Albert the Great, who's my hero, my personal hero, was printed in the 1650s. And we actually have some of these prints available here in the library. Another print from the same period, but from a much later historical actor, Konrad Gessner, that we also have available in the library, fortunately, is his Historia Animalium, History of Animals. And there you can see very well the shifts between Albert the Great's commentary on Aristotle's work on animals and the early modern version of Konrad Gessner's work on animals. So for instance, Konrad Gessner includes, I don't remember exactly, but I think more than 50 different species of animals that had already been discovered in the New World. So there's a lot of new knowledge, which is also, of course, experiential knowledge that is being incorporated into these sources in the early 17th century. Well, it goes without saying, of course, that these were only just very few aspects that I could talk about today. And so I would encourage everyone really to look at our website, as it will be growing over the course of time as we move on with the work in our group. And as new scholars come and join us, and to stay tuned basically concerning the different projects that we have.